Okay, hello and welcome. I am April Frazier. This presentation is called The Path to Fully Booked, a primer for the first time founder. I'm April Frazier, GetWise expert and confidence coach, and I help creatives and first time founders discover, design, profitable, signature, emphasis on signature businesses that create impact and freedom. And I'm here to talk to you about how to create that. How do I serve others? How can you create a profitable, fully booked business as a signature? And really, this emphasis is on service oriented founders as well. Who's this presentation for? It's for the service-based entrepreneur who's ready to take your business idea and turn it into a profitable revenue source with deep alignment to your values and your unique purpose. Maybe you have your business idea already. Maybe you have something sitting in your heart and you're thinking, I really think I could, or I'd love to, but how? You're in the right place. And this webinar, this presentation is for you if you have a business idea or a side hustle and you've got the two questions that everyone starts with. Is what I want possible? And if so, how is it possible? That's a big question, how? And that's actually the question that produces so much overwhelm that most business ideas never make it to any start because it's just too overwhelming. But I'm here to tell you that it is possible and that the how is also possible once you clarify a few things. And we're going to talk about that today. This presentation is for you if you feel like you have a side hustle or business and selling it is hard because you hate to sound salesy. If you feel like people like you, air quote, won't get hired. If you love to help people, but you feel like you mostly work for free because otherwise it feels weird. This is for you if you have no idea where to get clients, you have no idea what to charge, or there are many things that you could offer, but you're not sure what you could focus on. Maybe you have many gifts, and creatives are this way with so many things we can bring to the market, but which one should I focus on? And this presentation is also for you if you want to spend time helping people. You love helping others, but oh my goodness, posting to social media all the time, doing all the things is overwhelming and honestly soul sucking. Then you are in the right place. Most, perhaps one of the biggest things too is this presentation is for you if you are a purpose driven business owner, or you want to be, and you want to make $100,000 or beyond. And that's to say the six-figure mark. That's making something that begins to really look like a real profitable business that will empower your goals in the life. This is just a starting place. What's the path? How do you get to profitability? How do you get to having some real income that could allow you to quit that 9-to-5 job? Hey, do the traveling that you want to do, help other people, donate to charity, all the things. We're talking about really creating profitability in a way that makes you feel good about how you spent your time in your day. So I'm going to cut to the chase because there are two things you're going to need if you are going to create a fully booked, profitable business. You're going to need your purpose, and that is who you are, right? Why you, who do you serve, and why you? And that last question is really important because sometimes you might know who you want to serve. And the tendency when you're first starting out is to want to serve everybody. But that's not sustainable. That is not the path to fully booked. Oh, that's not the path to feeling really good about how you're spending your day and being that fully booked founder with freedom to go off and also live life. And you do need to understand why you want to serve others and why you are uniquely poised to do so. That third question is super important because it so much unlocks the purpose. It so much helps you to be clear about the three things that we're going to talk about in this webinar that are going to help you, that you need to be really, that are going to help you create a fully booked, profitable business. The second thing you're going to need is your signature offer. And emphasis on signature, you may have recall at the beginning of the slides I mentioned, I help people create signature businesses. And the benefit of that is because your irresistible offer needs to come from your special secret sauce. Whatever it is you bring to the world, it's a signature. And there's nobody like you And it's really important if you're going to distinguish yourself in the market to have that signature. So, as I was just saying too, that there's only one of you in all the universe, past, present, and future, and thus only you can bring what you bring. Sometimes founders start out with the question, would anybody pay for this? I certainly did. Yes, somebody needs you, what you bring, your skills, your background, your education, your growth journey, whatever it's been. You are this unique, beautiful human snowflake effect. And whatever it is that you bring, somebody needs it. Somebody could benefit from your guidance right now, right now. And so finding and discovering what's special about you and what's special about what you bring, that's how you do it. You're also interested in a signature offering because you want something that's going to enable your quality of life goals. You want something that's aligned to your way of serving others. And that's not necessarily going to be like everybody else. What's very popular in the online marketing space, the online service space, is a funnel, a sales funnel. Hey, build the funnel, have a program, do all the things, but is that aligned for you? And do you want a business that's personalized or one that's one size fits all? Do you want something that's more boutique, or do you want something that's pretty, as they say, done for you? One of my favorite phrases, done for you, or cookie cutter. Do you want to be a rare resource, or do you want to be a dime a dozen? And I could probably answer these for you. You're here in this moment. You came to this presentation. I'm pretty sure you don't want to be a dime a dozen. You want to be a personalized resource that serves in your unique way. In this presentation, then, here's what you're going to learn. You're going to get the 3 elements of your success plan. You're going to get the one myth that's holding back your money. And it's a big myth. It's a huge myth. And it's a simple myth, actually. You may not even realize you're holding this myth in your brain or in your body. You're also going to get the one thing that you need to be so that clients will happily pay you. And notice that it doesn't say the one thing you need to do. There's going to be plenty that the internet and other experts will tell you need to do. I'm here to tell you what you need to be in order for clients to pay you. And that is happily pay you. Like, hey, yeah, how can I pay you? The magic question that you want to hear. Yes, what do you need to be? You're going to find the 5 daily disciplines that you'll need to become an expert in your field. And you're also going to get the cash cow milestones that will get you paid. Okay, hashtag cash cow. Yes, in a very signature way. What are the milestones? This is answering the question of how do I create what I want? Yes, there are milestones that can provide very pointed markers for where you are in your journey and helping you get where you want to go. And the last thing you're going to learn in this presentation is how can I help you by means of GetWise and in collaboration. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. This is me in 2007, and I'm at the start of a software developer career that would last 18 years. I got my computer science degree, and I was well on my way to making 6 figures. It was a great, good, cushy, safe job, lots of benefits. Golden handcuffs is the term that we started to use because it was great, and it was so compelling to stay, but I hated the work. And honestly, when I look back on it, it wasn't the best alignment to my skill set and what I uniquely bring. You may sense a theme coming. In 2017, I had a breakdown though. And I was feeling drawn to go bigger with my life. I had no idea what that was, but I wanted more impact, to create more impact. I wanted more financial independence. I wanted time independence. I wanted to get paid to be me. And perhaps you've thought about this too, getting paid to be you. But I had no idea how to begin. I wasn't taught that I was taught to get a real job. Entrepreneurship was not something that was given to me as an option. Get a real job, get a 401k, get something with benefits. I was never, ever taught how to be an entrepreneur. So I had no idea how to begin. I had this calling, was feeling this tug in my heart, I had this breakdown, and yet I had no idea what was going to be next or how to create it. I started with zero everything. Okay, zero email list subscribers, zero social media, no income, no entrepreneur knowledge, no clients, no product, no service. Oh, by the way, I had no idea who I was or what I was doing. All I had was this calling. And my conventional wisdom from my background and the way I was raised, this going into the entrepreneur space sounded dumb because that's not the smart route. The smart route is to stay safe and to stay in a business working for someone else, and that's perfectly fine if you're okay with that. But if you're feeling drawn to do something else, well, and you're like me, you may not have any training. How do you create this thing that doesn't yet exist that you don't see anyone else doing and haven't seen anyone else doing in your life? I spent thousands of dollars hiring coaches and experts and creating funnels. I swirled for months in anxiety and doubt and uncertainty. And it was 8 months before I got my first coaching client. It was 11 months before I got my first high ticket client. That's $5,000 or more. And it was 2 years before I successfully launched my group coaching program. And that may sound like a lot of time, but there's a lot of growth packed in between those two, in between those time spans. And in that time, I've served dozens of clients in high ticket programs. My clients happily paying full and they love the results that they achieve. Which brings me to, I'm back from the depths. Everything I learned, I'm sharing it with you, the things that I didn't have. And the first thing I want to tell you is it's very common when you're starting out as an entrepreneur to go get some tech. And so I want to start right here by telling you here, first of all, what we're not going to do. If you are an entrepreneur and you're starting out and you're thinking, you're listening to the internet tells you you must post to social media regularly, you must build a funnel, you must buy this tech, you should get some ads, you should create a webinar, you should work on your branding, your websites, your business cards, your social media grid. There's an army of tech designed to support you. But at the very early stages of your journey, buying all that tech is an exercise in overwhelm because there's a lot to do. You don't quite have the help. You may not even have your messaging. You don't know who you are. You don't have the program yet. All of the tech is premature. And if you're listening and this is resonating, I want you to take a deep sigh of relief because I may be telling you something that's uncommon. The tech will come. But in the beginning, what we're not going to do is create a lot of tech, which is a mistake, by the way, that I made. So I want to repeat that one more time. We're no to high tech. We don't need a funnel, a webinar, a bunch of tech. Those things are going to come. But if you're in the very infancy stage of opening up to, hey, I want to create this thing, this is when I'm going to invite you to put on hold. And I'm going to speak more about where you should focus your efforts, where I recommend you focus your efforts when you're at the very beginning of your entrepreneurial journey as a service-oriented business owner in pursuit of purpose and impact. All of those things, as I mentioned, produce overwhelm, anxiety, and doubt. And I am a no to overwhelm. It is the single biggest killer of dreams is I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. I'm overwhelmed and people just get stuck right there. That's why I recommend that you don't start with the tech. You'll be more aligned to create all of those things, to know what your branding should be, to know what your website should look like, to know what your programs are, and to hire someone to help you when you're clear on your purpose and you're clear on your signature offering or offerings. Please take a moment and read that. When you're clear on your purpose and your signature offering, you will be more aligned to do all the tech, be aligned to create all the other things. For the moment, when you're first starting out, that's not the primary place to focus as an owner of the next steps you're going to take. So yes, we want to say yes to easier, clearer, focused, more aligned money making. Sans tech. Or sans so much of the high tech. What I teach others is you don't need to hustle and you don't need to chase clients. You don't need to post to social media every day. You don't need to do all the things. What you got to be is clear on your purpose, clear on alignment. When you have those things, you'll be so aligned, so deeply authentic that clients chase you. Yes, how can I pay you? Yes, they'll get on that waiting list. Yes, they want to know how can we stay in touch? Do you have an email list? Do you have a program? Even if they can't afford you for a particular service, they may say, well, do you have anything else that I could take advantage of, or some other way that I can get what you offer, but at a lower price point or a smaller engagement. Clients can chase you. And notice what I'm saying. Instead of you chasing clients, clients can chase you. Or conversely, instead of you chasing the money could chase you. And again, with purpose and with alignment, this is how I built my business. And instead of going high tech, we're going to go high touch. This is the antidote to overwhelm of high tech when you're starting out is going high touch. And that's what I teach, how to create high touch services that unlock. Forget about overwhelm. Unlock how you can find clients, how to align to them, how to speak to them, how to create programs for them, and do it in a way that you love, and do it in a way that allows you to spend the vacation time with your family and whatever else that's important to you. Because at the end of the day, as an entrepreneur, you are here to you want freedom. You want freedom to go and do the other things that bring you purpose and energize you and nourishment. The business is not you. The business that you're going to create is going to be an extension of the life you are creating and the freedoms that you are creating. And you need to build that into whatever your plan is, whatever your strategy, your tactics, you want to build that in. That's part of the reason that I recommend for high touch. Again, high tech will come, but high touch to start. So we'll dive into the first element of what you're here to get. And the three elements of success is the acronym that I'm going to give you is LSD. And that's not the illegal LSD. That is an acronym for love, singularity of focus, and direction. One thing I cannot stress it enough is that as an owner of a business, you want to do it only if you love it. Does that mean you only ever do things that you love as a business? No, there are elements of things that you have to do, perhaps. I never enjoyed doing taxes. But in terms of serving clients, when we are most aligned when we love something, because love is an abundance emotion. It is a magnetic emotion that attracts. So if you're doing something like creating a bunch of tech that doesn't feel right, you're going to feel small. It's not going to it's not going to come from a place of love, and it's going to be hard. And if it's hard, you're going to be less inclined to do it in a timely manner, in which case that is a blocker to success. Okay, so the first element of success is to recognize what you love and what you don't love about having a business, what you love about serving others, what you love about how you show up, and what you don't love, so that you can focus your energy on doing what you love and attracting that abundance first. Attracting that abundance first from a place of love. What you love to do and what you don't love to do. You need clarity on that. That's the first element of LSD. The second is having a singular laser-like focus. And one difficulty with owners, especially first-time founders, is how to be super clear on what is worth your time, energy, and attention. Money is not the most important element. It is time, because we all get the same amount of time every day. You get 24 hours. Time is not the kind of thing where you can go find some extra time in between the seat cushions like you can money. You can go find some quarters or something. No, you can't find time in seat cushions. You can't go and stuff more time into a day. What you can do is create space for time, but that means you have to take something out. Time is finite. It is our most precious resource, and it's the one thing that we don't have really any control over. So you need laser-like focus on what's worth your time to accomplish in service to your goals. The third element of LSD, love, singularity of focus, the D stands for direction, having a roadmap and clear direction, because so that when you feel lost, and you will feel lost, you still know where you're going. Just like getting in a car. If you get in a car, you could gas it up. Or if you drive electric, you could charge it up. You can fill the car with all the goodies and the snacks and the luggage. But if you don't know where you're going, then you're just wandering. But if you do know where you're going, then it doesn't matter if you have to take an alternate route or a detour, if you have to get a hotel for the night, you still know where you're going and you're going to figure out a way to get back on the road, so to speak. And that is a very important part because, again, overwhelm is one of the things that stops entrepreneurs in their tracks. And what you don't want, overwhelm is going to come from time to time, but what you do absolutely want is to be clear about where you're ultimately going so that when you feel lost, when you feel overwhelmed, you take the time, you rest, and then you realign to the direction and get back on track. One myth that's going to block your money, and I hear this very commonly, is that people feel that they need to be an expert. I need more credentials. I need to know more. This is a very big one. I need to know more. I need to do more. I need to have more letters behind my name. No, you do not. You don't need to be an expert in the way that you may have authorized before. The difference between being an entrepreneur is that we learn on the job. When you're getting a regular job, you will go to school and you'll get some kind of training, hopefully, and then you will go into the workforce and then you will basically unlearn what they taught you at school or you will continue to develop what they taught you at school. But for the entrepreneurial journey, you are learning that all the time, in real time, on-job training, as you will. And you are already an expert on you. Again, this is a signature service that you're bringing forward. So you're already an expert on what you bring, and if you're not, that's a place to begin. You can get paid to be you right now without any additional letters, without any additional training. I'm not saying you shouldn't get additional training if you want it, sure. If it's going to help you, sure. If it's in service to your goals, sure. But your special skills, your perspective, your cultural reference, your gifts, your education, your way of showing up in the world, whatever it is that brought you to this moment makes you a culture add. And I take that expression from Danielle Leslie, a $1 million course creator. She uses that culture add as a way of saying you don't need to fit anywhere. You are already an ad. And yes, will people pay for that? Absolutely. Your challenge is to figure out what that is and how do you bring it to the market. It is put another way, it is figuring out how to bring your unique medicine that you have from your journey, your growth, your background, all the things that make you you, bring your unique medicine to the market and figure out how to get paid to be that. That's the definition of a signature. That's how you get paid. The third thing that we'll talk about in this webinar is the one thing you need to be. And you may have heard me make the distinction at the start, not the one thing you need to do, but the one thing you need to be so that clients will happily pay you. And the word is, I want to burn into your brain right now, is beacon. Beacon. A lighthouse sends out its light. It does not worry if there are ships in the harbor, if the ships can see them, if the ships are looking for it. All it does is one job: show up and turn that light all the way on. And the ships that are already in the harbor looking for light will see it and know where to go. At least know where shore is. And that is your job as an entrepreneur, regardless of where you are in your journey, honestly, or what your business is. Your job is to be a beacon. And I'll tell you that this is probably one of the biggest challenges because it's showing up and it's letting people see you. And when you're first starting out, imposter and all of the things that may keep you stuck come up and keep you from doing this. But when you learn how to become a beacon for your ideal clients, they will happily pay you and be ecstatic that they get a chance to work with you and to learn from you. The other thing about being a beacon, setting that as kind of your way of framing your life, is that it can be a compass question. Am I being a beacon right now? Am I going to host this webinar? Well, does that make me a beacon? Am I going to post this to social media? Does that make me a beacon? Does this serve my clients? Well, does it make me a beacon? And again, overwhelm is one thing that I highly recommend that you watch for and notice. When you're a beacon, noticing when you're a beacon and asking that question, letting it be your compass, can help reduce overwhelm and clarify what steps uniquely, again, going back to LSD, what steps uniquely you need to take, having focus, singular, laser-like focus and direction. The direction can be, am I a beacon? Okay, the 5 daily disciplines that you're going to need to become an expert in your field. First and foremost, energy, okay? Energy is more precious than time. And you heard me say time is more precious than money. Energy is more precious than time because you are a renewable resource and you only have so much. You need rest, you need recreation or recreation, and you may notice that that word is the same, spelled the same. You have to protect your energy, and your energy should be spent on becoming a beacon and not on doing things that will disempower you or that will de-energize you, because when you're not energized, you don't serve powerfully, you don't turn that light all the way on. Does that make sense? You also practice coming out of that comfort zone. And I will tell you personally that this was one of the hardest things for me because I used to be in hiding and I like that. I like being in hiding. Who doesn't? And now, oh, I love being on a stage. I love being able to help people. I love coming out of the comfort zone and looking for opportunities to come out of that comfort zone, because outside of the comfort zone is where the growth happens. And yes, you can do it scared. You're going to have to do it scared many days. First time I gave a webinar, I thought I was going to lose my lunch. I really did. I thought I was going to throw up. It was terrible. Okay. First time I went live on Facebook, it was terrible. I felt terrible. The digestive system rioted. However, it was on the path. It was less about what I said in the going live. It was less about what I said in that first webinar. It was more about the practice, really the discipline of coming out of the comfort zone so that I could be a beacon for the ideal clients that already were looking for me, already looking for help, having greater confidence to create a business or to create some freedom for their life. The other thing I will tell you is it's salesy. Okay, I hear clients say this a lot to me. Most of my clients will say this: I don't want to appear salesy, so it's hard to ask for money for services. And I get that. I say this with compassion. Yeah, you don't need to sell. When you are in a sales mode, then you're not thinking about your client, you're thinking about you. The selling, so to speak, comes from thinking about you. Serving comes from thinking about the client. And I say this from experience. The clients that I have created most effortlessly, I never had to sell them anything. I simply serve them and they ask me, how can I work with you? How much? What do you have? What program? So what's it like? When you are in a deep posture of service, you never have to sell anyone. You never have to worry about your price. People want to work with you. They will find a way. But to get in that daily discipline of serving and not selling is an anti-discipline, if you will, because most of the internet will tell you how to sell. And what I advocate, what I recommend is you learn how to serve. And when you do that, you never have to sell. The other discipline is creating meaningful connections. At the end of the day, a profitable business depends on people buying from you, and people buy from their friends. Now, does that mean you're going to be besties? No. But it does mean that they have to trust you. And especially the higher ticket offers, people have to trust you. Most people will spend a certain amount of money without much proof or without much trust. Some people will. That's psychology of how people buy things. But when you start to talk about higher ticket offers, and you should be thinking about higher ticket offers as a part of your strategy, they have to trust you. How do you build that trust? That is a very important question in service to also how do you become a beacon so that you can show up for them regularly, know where they are, serve them, speak to them, guide them in your unique signature way. What's that look like? Meaningful connections. That also shows up when you are networking with other people and you are talking, making connections with other people, whether on the entrepreneurs or potential clients. Developing those deep, meaningful connections and looking for connection instead of selling someone something. That's how you build trust. And it's actually there's more involved here than just that. But the idea is that you want to focus your effort not on selling, but on developing the connection and looking for ways to build your strategy and your tactics in such a way that it builds trust. Unique, authentic trust because you're serving them. One thing that took me a really long time to get to when I was first starting out was remembering who I am, remembering who the client is, and remember why I'm doing this. And so I'm going to serve this to you. When you remember who you are, you remember who your client is and you remember why you're doing this, it helps to anchor you to the right things that you need to do. Otherwise, it's very easy to fall into a spiral of doing all the things when really you don't need to do all the things. You just need to do the right things. Need to do the right things. And that is going to be a highly detailed signature strategy and tactics that's going to depend largely on you, what kind of business you are creating, who you are, how you're serving others, and why you're doing it. Okay, the cash cow milestones. Maybe you've been waiting for this. What do I need to do? This is the how question. How do I create what I want? The first thing I got to tell you is it's an ownership mindset. Okay, so when you start taking ownership, you start charging what you're worth, you start making strong agreements. You do not do work without a deposit. You deeply embody the my house, my rules belief. And I'll tell you that first time founders, you can tell the difference between a founder and an owner, because a founder doesn't always charge or doesn't charge what they're worth. They're trying to serve everyone. They're overwhelmed. Lots of other things, these other pieces of being a founder. And that's a natural part of the journey. I say that with no judgment. Okay. It's a natural part of the journey. But when you learn how to take ownership, you magnetize different kinds of clients who are less drawn to choosing based on price. They're choosing on value. You start to magnetize clients who want to make agreements, with strong agreements. They want to commit to their goals. You start charging what you're worth. I can't stress that enough. Charging what you're really worth, because again, when you're creating freedom in this business. And it doesn't mean tyranny. It means taking real ownership and becoming a real guide for those who need to see your example. It's an ownership mindset. And that's something that I can help with. That is what I help clients with. It is one of the biggest pieces. And you'll know when you get there, it's one of the biggest pieces that affects how much money you make and how much impact you create and how much you love the work that you do in service to others. Identifying your client. This might be obvious. You've got to figure out who they are. Not, and we sometimes tend to put it in demographics, such as I'm looking for women age 30 to 35, or I'm looking for men who have a health focus, but that's not identifying your client. Identifying your client is what's keeping them up at night. Where do they hang out? What words would resonate with them? What stories do they have, or narratives do they have in their head? What do they believe? That's going deep into identifying who your client is, so that you can not only put yourself in the path, again, a beacon, put yourself in the path to see them or for them to see you, but also how to speak to them in a way that makes them raise their hand and say, hey, you know what? Tell me more about that. And that's really all you're looking for in a first encounter. Tell me more about that. The third thing that you're going to need is deciding how you're going to serve them. And this is where the signature comes in, right? You see a theme happening here in this presentation. Decide how you're going to serve them in a way that creates freedom for you, also creates profitability and impact and whatever else is important to you. How are you going to serve them? And that also includes price point. That includes deciding what your offerings are going to be and how you're going to structure them and what kind of team you're going to create to bring on for yourself and in service to them. The next milestone is creating that power offer. That is the irresistible, as they said in The Godfather, making an offer that they can't refuse. You can't create that power offer till you're clear on these other things. Till you cross these other milestones. You can't really create it because you don't know them. You don't know what's going to speak to them. Also, maybe you don't know yourself or your business yet. When you get to the place of creating the power offer, it's super easy to write copy, to know what your website should look like and what posts you should make and where you should be posting and what ads to create. When you have that power offer crystal clear, and by the way, this is a process to create it. It's a journey to create it. But when you get really clear on it and you start to really hone, that's where you don't have the overwhelm. You're not worried about if you're posting the right thing, or you're saying the right thing, or you're doing the right thing. You just know because you're very clear. And then, of course, receipts. You can't have a profitable business without receipts. Okay, that's to say cha-ching, your PayPal blowing up, your Stripe or your Sam card, whatever it is that you use, all that stuff you want it blowing up and coming in. And at the if you're like me, you want it to be effortless. You want to be able to be in the air on a plane somewhere, going somewhere beautiful on a beach, and knowing that that money is coming in and that it's just landing right where it's supposed to be in an effortless kind of way. And that doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, but it can be rather effortless when you are clear about these different things. And then, of course, perhaps the last thing is that you want to lay the foundation for scaling, right? That's where the tech's going to come in. The webinar and the fancy funnel and the all the different pieces, the lead magnet that are going to drive people in and help them become a that's going to create you as a beacon in an electronic format. And with the times that we're living in now, of course, everything you want it to be electronic so that you can be on that plane and people are getting served through your various mechanisms, your marketing octopus, if you will. But all that comes after you have a power offer, after you have receipts. Then you can start laying the foundation for scaling. You can start hiring, you can start marketing, you can start doing the different things, the ads, all the things that are very well established practices for scaling. So it sounds easy, but how, Sway? I love this. I love Kanye is so insouciant. How, Sway? It sounds gonna sound pretty simple, but there's a lot packed in this little slide that is really just, it's going to be a lot of the work that you're going to do. It's knowing your special sauce, knowing your client, and making that magnetic power offer. But how, April? I love this quote. It says, it's from, I'm not going to get his name right. So actually, I'm not going to pronounce it. I'm just going to say, tactics without strategy is the noise before defeat. Tactics is all the doing. And yet, you need both. You need tactics and you need strategy. Some of the strategy is who you're choosing to be as an owner, what you're choosing to create, your vision, the freedoms. But I love this quote because the tendency for first-time founders is to do a bunch of stuff without the strategy. And I want to invite you, let's do both. Let's work together to do both. Create your strategy, understand your signature, so that you can meaningfully and powerfully create the tactics for success. In order to do that, you're going to need a plan. And you're going to need strategy, right? The plan are the tactical steps. Some of them we talked about here, the milestones, right? You're going to need clarity about what tech you do need. Strategy, all the questions that we've asked. Who's the client? Who are you? How do you serve them? What does she need? And you're going to need energetic and tactical support, right? To overcome the doubt and the overwhelm, to stay in action, ask for what you want, create the perfect offer, and be really clear on your pricing, unwavering on your pricing. Hey, this is what we're going to do. And allow yourself to come at it when you're starting as a beginner. The internet will tell you lots of examples of people who seemingly had success overnight. That's not how it works. I'm going to tell you right now, that's a lie. The people who come and they say it seemingly had success overnight, they've been building for 4 years or 7 years or 10 years. It does take time to build it. And in that time, you need energetic support to a team, a community, in order to stay in action and embrace when you need rest and recreation and still get back on track. And what's going to stand in your way? Doubt, which I call mind trash. It's going to be doubt. Who will pay me? Is what I want possible? What if I fail? But what if you win? Imposter. Why would someone pay me? Who am I to charge this much? What will people think? Am I really an expert? Do they know I'm not really an expert? Again, you don't need to be an expert. You are already an expert on who you are. And then you're going to need clarity to stay on track. Again, knowing that what your direction should be and where you ultimately want to end up. You I will tell you from experience that when you have receipts, when you have people who have bought into your programs and your services, are going to see that when you have receipts, you are going to feel more confident about what you're doing. You're going to know what tech you need, and you're going to know what your power offer is, and what tools, what should I post, what's my email list, how do I create it. You're going to know all of those things, and that power offer is going to be the thing that allows you to set it up for scaling and profitability. What's going to stand in your way is going to also be how to become a beacon. The question, how do I become a beacon for ideal clients, so that when you are engaging with anyone that's right for you, and that you're right for, it's going to make working with you a no-brainer for your perfect clients. And then perhaps one of my favorite topics, what's going to stand in your way is stepping in confidently to your ownership, that this is your business. And how do you create that from your quality of life goals, and remembering that it's your house that you're setting up, so you own the outcome, you own the vision. How do you create it? Your house, your rules. It's a very important ownership mindset, and it's deep energy work to regularly get back in the ownership mindset so that you can stay in action. And I'll just tell you, you may have already figured this out, that nobody arrives alone. We are all stronger together with expert support, which is what I love about GetWise, because you're here as a result because you recognize either that you need support or that you are support. And either way, that underscores the idea that nobody arrives alone. So I created an Own Us program so that to guide others like you to lay the foundation from zero to what I call freedom profitable with my signature framework and much of what I've shared with you and more in this presentation today. I have a program and ways that I show up and I serve others, owners at various stages of business, whether that's established businesses or just starting out. And if you are looking to create a signature high ticket offer or a signature business that magnetizes ready to pay clients in a way that serves you and them without the overwhelm, then I want to invite you to book a call, because I'm sharing everything that I learned will help you craft your master plan, strategy, and tactics. And I'm going to arm you with knowledge, tools, community, and the deep ownership practices that you need in order to succeed. So if you could fast track, again, I shared with you that it took me 8 months and 11 months and longer, and I don't regret it because it was a lot of useful information that I gained. But what if you could fast track by getting expert advice? What if you could confidently stand in your power to make irresistible high ticket offers or power offers, have the confidence in yourself and your business, create a profitable business that you, capital L, love? And what if you could say no to overwhelm? So you have a plan, you know where you're going, you're clear about what you need to do, and you feel confident in your decisions. And what if you have proof that this idea that's in your mind or your heart that you already started or that you haven't quite started, that it has real cash value, so you can leave the 9 to 5, you can dispel any doubt that what you want is possible, and that you can start to count receipts. You can have real cash value before you leave the 9 to 5 if that's your goal, and know that your path is a viable source of income for you. And what if you could stop being afraid, because you know what to do, or you know how to capture what to do, you know how to take care of yourself energetically, and what to do in the face of fear, because fear will come, what to do when you feel lost, and have the confidence to stay in action, taking the massive action toward your goals. What would that be worth to you? Take a moment and just think about that. If you had expert advice, what would that be worth to you? And I'm going to share with you one of my clients, Malika, who just got, by working with me, she started like I did with zero everything, got her first paid session, and it went so well. The confidence starts to build as you stack your wins, right? Failures, air quote, failures give you opportunities for learning. Your wins help you stack your confidence. And Malika was ecstatic when she got her first paid session. Tiffany said this was the best investment ever in working with me. And Kyra was able to take a look at a perceived problem or weakness that she thought was going to hold her back from being able to launch her business successfully. And then in working with me, she realized, wait, my problem or weakness, air quote, actually is a superpower. And she started to come out of hiding, which made her more empowered to be that beacon that she needs to be for the people who she serves. So, if this is something you're looking for, sounds good, April, tell me more about this. Yes, I need help. If you're knowing that you need help or guidance or wanting, not sure, then I invite you to reach out. I invite you to reach out on GetWise. And the link here is below, and it will probably be somewhere in this nearby this webinar, where this presentation, wherever you're watching it. I invite you to book a call. I absolutely am looking forward to helping you. And thank you for attending.